Hi everybody, I'm Camden Elliott. I'm a support advisor here at Vision Based Planning, and today with me I have Penny Jones. She's one of our senior advisors here and also a CFP. So Penny, today we're going to be talking about Trump accounts. I know you've done a lot of research, a lot of deep diving into this. You even have an article out on LinkedIn about it that people can read if they want to. So let's start off with, what is a Trump account? Some people pay 530A. What exactly is a Trump account?
Yeah, great question. So a Trump account, it was a account that's set up to help increase savings for kids. And so it's actually held by the parents. The parents are going to kind of manage it, but it's only for kids. And this is called a Trump account because Donald Trump pushed the legislation into it. So he has his name on it. It's also known, as you mentioned, as a 530A account.
Okay.
And so it went into effect officially on July 4th of 2026.
So as parents are evaluating this as an option for their kids, what should they be taking into consideration before they move forward with getting into a Trump account?
So one of the benefits of a Trump account is that the money invested will grow tax deferred throughout its life. So the taxes are not due every year like other type of accounts that may have a tax liability every year. And so it's tax deferred. So you're waiting a little bit longer until you can pull the money out.
Okay, and I understand there's this $1,000 available. So what could qualify somebody to receive that $1,000 for their children's behalf, or for their child's behalf, rather?
Yeah, so that $1,000 is called what they're calling seed money, just to kind of get it started. And even though a Trump account is available for kids that are 18 and younger and have a Social Security card, the seed amount is only for those that are born in 2025 through 2028. So that is the U.S. government through the U.S. Treasury putting money to help get that started and help get that balance growing. So that seed, that $1,000 seed, is only available for kids in those birth years. So is it beneficial or not? To be determined.
So how does this affect the kids in the future? Because obviously they'll have these funds available to them, but how does that impact them and their lives, maybe in their education or as they get started?
An excellent point, because that is the question. Even though tax law is set what will happen, it could potentially be changed. But the interpretation by the IRS sometimes takes a year or two. So what we know so far is at the time the child turns 18 on their 18th birthday, they become the full owner of this account. So whoever the guardian or the parent was that was managing the account, it's now the child. So at 18, they have this account. The trick is that it turns into an IRA. So an individual retirement account for the child. And that restriction provides with all the regular IRA restrictions. So as you know already, an IRA account is basically locked up until you're age 59 and a half. It still grows tax deferred, but it's locked up until age 59 and a half. So what if the child needs money for something before then?
Okay.
One of the most common things is like, can I use it for education, or can the child use it for education? So the answer is yes. They can, just like an IRA, you can pull money out of the account to cover for the child's education. It is exempt from a 10% penalty, but any money you pull out of this Trump account that turned to an IRA, all the earnings are taxable if the contributions were made after tax.
Okay.
So that's not as favorable. Additionally, you could do a $10,000 toward a new home purchase and not pay the 10% penalty, but you will pay taxes on all the gains that have happened since the account has been open until when you can pull it out.
Okay. So Penny, as people start looking into who can fund these, are grandparents able to contribute into their grandchildren's Trump accounts?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is an overall limit per child. And so that's kind of, we'd say kind of per beneficiary, but the account name is in the child's name. And so the max that can be contributed per year, whatever source, whether it's parents, grandparents, amazing aunt and uncles, whoever it is, $5,000.
Okay. So
right now for 2026, that's the max that can be contributed. Interesting enough, this $1,000 seed money we talked about for those that are born 2025, 2028, it doesn't go against that 5,000.
Oh, great. So it can be 6,000 total.
So 2026, if you're born in the right years, you could have $6,000 max in your account in 2026.
All right, great. So Penny, you talked a little bit about education and how it may impact the children. So as a child becomes 18, how does this differ from if a parent had invested originally in a 529 for their kids' education versus the Trump account?
So a 529 account would be different than a Trump account if your purpose is for educational. And so in that, the Trump account, you would donate the money, traditionally would be after tax, and the earnings would go tax deferred. And when you need it after age 18 to be able to pull money out, when you pull that money out, again, you have to pay the taxes on the earnings, but you don't have a 10% penalty. A 529 account, the contributions are the same. It's after-tax contributions into the 529 account. It's growing tax deferred. However, when you pull that money out to pay for the qualified educational expenses, then there's no tax involved. So if your purpose for the Trump account or thinking about doing a Trump account is for educational, there's better vehicles available for your kids if that is the purpose.
And would that impact them if they had to go into FAFSA or that they're doing that application as they go into school?
Yeah, so the Board of Education or the U.S. Board of Education has not made a final ruling on how they're going to address Trump accounts, because when you originally apply for college, you're doing it during your junior year, senior year, and you're completing the FAFSA application. Currently, there's not a little box that says, do you have a Trump account? I can guarantee you it's going to have a new box probably next year that says, do you have a Trump account? Because the way that need for financial aid application states is parent assets are separate than the child's assets. And so that's the way it's divided out. A Trump account, the beneficiary will be the child, and then the beneficiary, as soon as they turn 18, the owner will be the child. So what we're thinking right now, the Trump account balance will count against the child's portion and count against them as having assets available for college, even though it is a retirement account. And so that's the questionable is, are they going to put it in the retirement account bucket for kids? Most 18-year-olds do not have a retirement account. So this is why it's all brand new. They're not sure how they're going to address it, but they know there is an exemption that it could be. So it's to be determined. It could go retirement account path, or it could go child asset account. And that has a big impact on college. If you do have that Trump account, you have a less chance of getting financial aid or a reduced amount. But then again, if you have a 529 account, you also have a reduced amount of getting aid. But great parents, great whoever donated the 529 or Trump account, you have money and you get to go to college.
Yeah. So tying into the topic of that extra $1,000 coming in, is that going to be available in the future? Do you think there'll be more seed money in the near term, or how do you expect things to go?
Yeah, so right now the limit for the $1,000 is to 2028. Again, tax law changes all the time. Something else may happen. Interesting enough, there is a program where other major corporations that want to donate money to this program are able to do it and get a tax write-off of whatever they donate of their stock. As an example, Michael Dell and his firm have already done this, and they donated, I think, over $6 million to this account. But they get to set restrictions.
Okay. And
the restrictions include, just for Dell, but you kind of can pick it out, is you have to be in a certain zip code. The child has to be under 10. Okay. So that's kind of, that's more than a newborn. So under 10 years old, have to live in a certain zip code. And then you also, the family or AGI or adjusted gross income and tax return has to be under $150,000. Okay. And so they would get $250 added to their account. That's the one that's currently active. There's others that are applying, sending money in. And so you don't know. It's kind of like, am I going to be in the right zip code? Am I not? Mm-hmm. Am I going to meet the qualifications? It's unknown. You can actually go to investamerica.org, put in, the age or the year the child was born, in the zip code where they live, and they'll say what you're eligible for the 1,000, for 250, whatever the case is. And so that's kind of exciting. It's unknown. It's just another way to help spur the economy and help young kids save.
Okay, so talking a little bit about Invest America, is that where people can go to apply for said Trump accounts, or where can they look to see how to apply or see how the accounts are going? So
there's lots of different places. Trumpaccounts.gov, which is .gov, because that's very government. That's actually the actual website to go apply and do all the details. Investamerica.org, O-R-G, talks more about donations that are going in, and then it'll have a link to actually apply to open the account.
Okay, and where can people, let's say they open the account, where can they view how it's performing? I understand there's something with Robinhood and BNY Mellon.
So yes, the U.S. Treasury Department had made a decision, and they're using BNY Mellon as their broker-dealer, and that is going to be managed through Robinhood, if you've heard of that platform before. So that is going to be who's going to hold your Trump account. There's actually a Trump account app that is available so you can track it. Keep in mind the availability of choices between what you can invest in is restricted because they don't want a lot of volatility in these children's savings account.
Yeah.
with that, the management fee is also reduced so that, again, the kids' account can grow as much as possible. So.
All right. So what are some of those investment options that people can choose from if you're aware of any at the moment?
So they're going to be ETFs, exchange traded funds, or mutual funds is what we're told. They are going to track the S&P 500, and they're going to be really limited to U.S. stocks because this is a U.S. program, and we want to support U.S. economy and for our U.S. kids.
So Penny, thank you for joining us today and going over what Trump accounts are and how parents can look at them and view them if they're the right vehicle for their children. And if you have any other questions at home about what a Trump account is or the general structure, feel free to reach out to us. You can either leave a comment below or reach out to us at Vision Based Planning. But until next time, Penny, thank you for joining us.